Hey, Winmar here at the project house in Savannah. We're in the carriage house. We ran into a little bit of a design issue. You got Chris Norman here with
Southern Home Solutions.
And Ed here with
Reliance
Cabinetry. So what happened, the original plan had a sink, a stove, and a dishwasher. We looked at the window, and as we reconfigured, drawings came out, but the drawings aren't always to scale. And they had a fridge here and cabinets that come up to here. So that doesn't work. So we're here today meeting, trying to figure out how do we solve this problem to make it functional and economic. So option one would be, leave the window, just kind of make this space kind of, it just wouldn't look good, it wouldn't flow. Option number two would be reframe this window, bring this up to here, giving you enough counter space, smaller window, and then you put the siding on the outside and make it look good. But it's still, you still have some dead space here. You don't know where you're gonna fit fridge, stove, because it's kind of limited. So the third option is what I think we're gonna go with. Delete the whole window. Drywall over it, take it out, frame it in, put the siding on the outside, giving you a whole wall that you can now use for whatever kind of design you want with anything.
All right, so, of course, with redesigning anything, there's the pros and cons. So taking this window out, reframing it in, repairing the siding, of course, on the outside. One thing that I always like to point out to clients is, we can try to patch it in, but typically, unless we re-side it, you're going to see kind of a variation in the material outside. So it's going to look like a patch. So much on this, I don't think it's the side of the house over there. It's not so much of a big deal. If it was the front of a house, I would say let's tear off some siding, and do the lengths. But here, we're talking about $600 as far as this. Repairing the siding outside, tearing this out, reframing it, putting sheetrock here, so we can have a microwave cabinet. Of course, along with that, electricity, venting, all's got to be put in. Moving the stove, you're going to have to rerun the electrical for that, and also putting the dishwasher over here. We're going to have to lower the electrical for that. So those are just some of the pros and cons. Probably looking at $1,000, $1,200 by the time you get all said and done. But it's going to give you the functionality that you guys are looking for and for the people living in the house to, have some type of functional kitchen.
And as always, when you're doing a flip, you always want all the money you put into a project to be worth more than on the backside. But sometimes when we're running into issues like this, I don't know if we're going to be able to get the money out of it, but it's something that you need to do. Maybe we'll be able to squeeze a little extra money out because it's going to look a little bit better than it would if it were broken up. You run across things like this all the time. Hopefully not on your projects, but run across it on mine where you come across an obstacle that you never thought of once everything was designed, and you just have to do a little bit of an audible, figure out how to make it work. So
prioritize the items you must have that are most important to you or to the buyer, and then base everything else off that.
Yeah.
Step by step.
Yeah, great point. So before we didn't have a dishwasher. There was nothing in the design for a dishwasher. Now that we're getting rid of this window, having a whole wall gives us more space for everything, we're able to add a dishwasher over here next to the sink, which will be a desirable feature for somebody who rents it or buys it. So try to make the best of an unfortunate situation, but that's why I have a good team around you. That's why I have Ed, that's why I have Chris, that we all put our heads together and come up with the best option.
So typically, I'm right around 10 or 12 for the cabinets, the granite, and the install on a smaller kitchen. That's probably more reality, and then you're going to have another $3,500 for your appliances. So that's kind of where I look at things. This is more of a kitchenette. Yeah. So there wasn't a lot budgeted for it because we were just going with the original thing, but being the type of rentals that we want to do with the scabs, they want to make it more functional for a buyer to show functionality and get the most for the rent. So that's why we're even having this conversation and adding more, so they can actually get more for their rent.
I have a 15-inch cabinet, so I have a base cabinet, a dishwasher, and then the sink is going to be diagonal. single basin sink diagonal. We'll have a cabinet, the stove, microwave, another cabinet, and then the corner is going to be the refrigerator. We'll have uppers along this wall, and I think what we're going to do over here, just for size, we'll just put some open shelving here to kind of, tie the space in.